First up, the 1983 Washington quarter dollar with a D-mint mark, but not just any 1983 quarter. This one has a very unique and rare feature. It's got one-side cut damage. What does that mean, and how much is it worth in today's market? Stay tuned because this could be the coin you want to keep an eye out for. Before we jump into the value, let's break down exactly what this coin is. The Washington quarter is one of the most common coins in circulation, but the 1983 quarter with a D-mint mark is a bit more interesting for collectors. The D-mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, one of the U.S. mints responsible for producing millions of coins. Now, the 1983 Washington quarters are generally made of copper nickel clad, not silver. So why are we calling this a silver quarter? That's because some special collector or proof sets or certain error coins can have silver versions. There are also rare 40% silver quarters from earlier years, but 1983 silver quarters are extremely rare and typically errors or special releases. Some 1983 quarters, especially in collectors' proof sets, were struck on silver blanks, making them 40% silver. This adds value, especially if the coin is in good condition. Now here's the unique part, the one-side cut damage. This means that part of the coin has been physically cut or damaged on one side. This kind of damage can occur due to accidents, manufacturing errors, or even intentional modifications. Typically, damaged coins lose a lot of their value, but in some cases, especially with error coins or unique damages, collectors actually pay a premium. A normal 1983 Washington quarter in circulated condition is worth its face value, 25 cents. In uncirculated condition, it might fetch a few dollars from collectors. But is silver 1983 D quarter? Now that can be worth between $100 or more depending on condition. When it comes to one-side cut damage, the value really depends on the severity and how it affects the coin's rarity and eye appeal. Some collectors prize these kinds of oddities and are willing to pay anywhere from $200 more, especially if the coin is silver and has the Denver Mint mark. So, what's the final takeaway? If you find a 1983 Washington quarter with a D-mint mark that's silver and has a one-side cut damage, don't just throw it away or sell it for face value. This coin could be worth between $230, even higher depending on who's buying and the exact nature of the damage. My advice: if you discover a coin like this, get it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. That will give you an accurate value and help you get the best price if you decide to sell. 199 OD Washington quarter. Minted at the Denver Mint, this coin is often overlooked due to its high mintage, but as we'll discover, certain conditions and errors can make it quite valuable. Most 199 OD quarters in average circulated condition are worth their face value, just $250. However, their value increases significantly when they're in uncirculated or higher grade conditions. Now, let's talk about high-grade coins. A 1990 D quarter graded MS66 has an estimated value of around $400, but the real jackpot comes with coins graded MS67. To determine if your 1990 D quarter is valuable, you'll need to assess its grade. Look for signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration. Coins with minimal imperfections and sharp details are more likely to be high-grade, so the next time you come across a 1990 D Washington quarter, take a moment to examine it closely. You might just be holding onto a coin that's worth more than you think. Next up, the 1983 Washington quarter with a P mint mark, but with a twist, the silver variety. Is it valuable? How much can it fetch in today's market? Most of us know the Washington quarter, first minted in 1932, featuring George Washington's profile. Over the decades, the quarter has undergone changes in composition, size, and design, but today, we're zeroing in on the 1983 issue. Normally, quarters from 1965 onward are made of a copper nickel clad, which means no silver. But what about silver? Quarters dated 1983 Are they even real? And why are they so special between 1932 and 1964? All Washington quarters were made of 90% silver. But starting in 1965, the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition due to rising silver prices. So officially, no silver quarters were minted for circulation after 1964. However, in 1983, some special silver quarters were minted, but not for circulation. These were produced as proof coins or special collector's sets made of 90% silver. The key point: the silver 1983 quarters with a P-Mint mark come from these collector sets, like the silver proof sets or silver uncirculated sets. So if you have a 1983 quarter that is truly silver, it's almost certainly a collector's item, not a regular circulation coin. Silver quarters have a solid silver core, while clad quarters have a copper core sandwiched by nickel layers. Silver coins weigh approximately 6.5 grams, while clad quarters weigh about 5.67 grams. Remember, most 1983 quarters you find in circulation will be the copper-nickel clad type. The silver ones are special collector's coins, usually found in sealed proof or uncirculated sets. Now, let's get to the exciting part. How much is a 1983 silver quarter with a P-Mint mark worth today? The value depends on condition and whether it's a proof or uncirculated coin. In good condition, meaning little wear, maybe MS60 to MS65 grade, these silver quarters typically sell between $700 each. Silver prices fluctuate daily, and that affects the value of silver quarters too. When silver prices rise, even clad coins get more attention, but silver coins especially gain value. Collectors also seek these 1983 silver quarters because they represent the last years of 90% silver Washington quarters in special mint sets. Over the last few years, sales of 1983 silver-proof quarters have been steadily climbing, especially those graded in mint state or proof condition. If you hold one, it might be worth holding onto it a bit longer as demand grows. So, to wrap up, the 1983 Washington quarter with a P-Mint mark in silver is a collectible treasure from the last era of 90% silver quarters. While not extremely rare, good condition silver examples still command a premium over face value, typically between $700 depending on condition. Next up, the 1966 quarter dollar with no mint mark, and whether there's any real silver in it, why it's often misunderstood, and most importantly, how much it's worth today, especially if you've got one in fine condition. Let's set the stage. It's 1966, the summer of love. The Vietnam War is in full swing, and the U.S. Mint is facing a coin crisis. The public was hoarding silver coins, causing a shortage of quarters, dimes, and half dollars. As a result, the U.S. government made a massive decision. In 1965, they removed silver from quarters and dimes entirely. That continued into 1966. So, let's clear up the first myth right now. Despite what some may believe, the 1966 Washington quarter contains nitrogen monoxide silver. None. It's made of a copper-nickel clad composition layered over a pure copper core. That's right, it's technically not a silver quarter, even though it looks like one from the outside. So when people refer to 1966 silver quarter, they usually mean the color, not the content. Notice there's no mint mark. That's not an error. From 1965 to 1966, the U.S. Mint intentionally omitted mint marks on all coins to discourage hoarding. So every 1966 quarter, whether struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, looks the same. Alright, let's talk money. If you've got a 1966 quarter in fine condition, that's a coin that shows moderate wear but still has clear details. Its base value is, well, $300. That's because it's not silver, and billions, yes, over 1.5 billion, were minted that year. These are rare. But if you've got a 1966 quarter with doubling on the letters or date, you could be looking at $75 to $200 depending on the severity and condition. If it's worn and doesn't have any unique features, it's likely only worth its face value, but check closely. An unusual strike, a clean high-grade coin, or anything that seems off could mean profit in your pocket. So, while most 1966 quarters in fine condition are worth just a quarter, next up the 1995 D silver Washington quarter dollar, especially those found in dirty or circulated condition. You might be surprised just how much these coins can be worth in today's market, so stick around first. Let's get some basics out of the way. The Washington quarter has been a staple in American coinage since 1932, originally struck in 90% silver till 1964. After that, quarters were mostly made of copper nickel clad, but there's a twist here with the 1995 D quarter. Unlike most quarters from the 1990s, the 1995 D Washington quarter is not silver in general circulation. So why is this coin important, and why do some versions exist in silver? Well, the answer lies in the special mint sets produced by the U.S. Mint. In 1995, the U.S. Mint released silver-proof sets containing quarters struck in 90% silver. These were primarily for collectors and not for general circulation. These silver quarters, including the 1995D, have a much higher silver content than regular quarters now. What's interesting is that some of these silver quarters accidentally made their way into circulation or have been found outside of pristine collector sets, sometimes dirty, worn, or damaged. When we say dirty condition, we're talking about coins that are circulated, grimy, maybe with some tarnish or grime buildup. This could be due to spending, improper storage, or just age and exposure. And you might think that dirt or wear decreases a coin's value dramatically. Right, the main value of these 1995D quarters comes from their silver content, specifically 90% silver. At today's silver price, which, as of now, is around $250 per ounce, the intrinsic metal value alone makes these quarters worth more than face value. If you find a 1995D silver quarter in dirty or circulated condition, it still holds that intrinsic silver value, so it's at least worth the melt price, around $400 today. But there's more. Collectors often pay a premium above silver melt value for these coins, even in dirty condition, because they're rare outside of collector sets and are seen as collectible proof or mint state coins that slipped into circulation. Here's a quick warning: cleaning coins, especially silver, can be risky. Harsh cleaning can scratch or damage the coin, reducing its collectible value drastically. If you're unsure, it's better to leave the coin as is or get advice from a professional coin dealer to wrap things up. The 1995D silver Washington quarter in dirty condition is definitely worth checking out if you stumble upon one. Its silver content alone guarantees a value well above face value, and collectors are willing to pay a bit extra, even for less than perfect coins. So next time you're sorting through your change or inherited coin collections, keep an eye out for that D mint mark on quarters from the 1990s. You might just find a silver treasure hiding under that dirt. Next up, the 1987 D Washington quarter dollar, but with a special twist. We're talking about the silver version of this coin, and how much it's really worth if you find one in extremely fine condition. Most people know the Washington quarter as a standard 25-cent piece, made primarily of copper and nickel since 1965. But here's the interesting part: there are special versions of these quarters struck in 90% silver, primarily for collectors. These silver quarters were typically produced as part of special sets, like the U.S. Mint's proof sets or silver collector sets, and the 1987D quarter is no exception. The 1987D Washington quarter stands out because it was minted at the Denver Mint, hence the D mint mark, and some were struck on silver plankets rather than the usual copper nickel clad. These silver versions aren't meant for everyday circulation. They were minted for collectors and investors who wanted that classic silver shine and the intrinsic value of the metal. When we talk about coin condition, it's crucial for value. The term extremely fine EF or XF refers to a coin that shows only slight wear on the highest points of the design, with all the major details still sharp and clear. It's a step below about uncirculated, but still a very well-preserved coin. First, the melt value. Silver's spot price fluctuates daily, but currently, a 90% silver quarter contains about 0.1808 troy ounces of silver, with silver roughly priced at around $250 per ounce. That means the melt value alone is approximately $450 based on recent sales. A 1987D silver quarter in extremely fine condition can be worth anywhere between $12. Factors like eye appeal, toning, and exact grading can influence the price. So if you happen to find a 1987D Washington quarter that's silver and in extremely fine condition, congratulations! You might be holding a small but valuable piece of history worth more than its face value. Whether you're a collector, investor, or just curious, understanding the market value of these coins can help you make informed decisions. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more valuable coin insights. Got questions about your coin collection? Drop them in the comments below. We love helping you discover hidden treasures. Until next time, happy collecting!